Welcome to A Gallen of Questions. My name is Pat Gallen, and last week on this program, we sat down with Will Yip. He is a Grammy-nominated producer from Northeast Philly, went to Central High School, went to Temple University, and he's so Philly, so Northeast Philly that his parents and my parents literally live like a block away from each other. So pretty cool to get to know more about a guy I've known now for maybe the last decade or so and is becoming more and more well-known as a producer, not only around the country, but around the world. Part one, we discussed those early stages for him in his music career and how he got started. Studio 4 in Conshohocken, which he's now a co-owner of. And he told some amazing stories of, through that, connecting with the great Miss Lauryn Hill. He went on the road with her all over the world, was her engineer, was her drummer at one point, was basically her tour manager as well. That kind of set him up for where he is right now. But there's another side to Will Yip that we'll get to know today that is secondary to his record producing. He would say this is probably his first love, even more so than music, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies. He has more Phillies memorabilia than any person I've ever met, maybe combined. He has an incredible collection, and today he's going to show off his prized possession from that collection. He's got some cool stuff and some cool stories as well. And if you want to check out all of this together, you can go to our website, cbsphiladelphia.com/Gallen of Questions. So this is part 2 of my sit-down with Will Yip. I'm Pat Gallen. This is A Gallen of Questions. So I wanted to know what life was like for a producer. You kind of spelled it out, though, that it's nonstop. I mean, on a whim, you could be across the world. Yeah. For you now, you're a little bit more homebound. So what is a day in the life like for Will Yip now?
Man. Now?
Yeah.
Now
especially now you have a kid. It changes the equation a little bit.
Because I'm on leave now. So I'm on. I'm taking a little paternity right now. You know, I'll be back in the studio full time back in August. Okay. But my days, I always tell guys, always tell bands that I don't advise other assistants or engineers coming up to do what I do. Right. You know what I mean? Because it's hard, man. Yeah. It's hard. If it was easy, anyone would do it. Sure. Everyone would do it if it was easy, you know. But I don't take it for granted. I get to make music every day with some of my best friends in the world. That's all I do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So of course I'm gonna give it my all. Of course I'm gonna go so hard in it. But my hours, my days have been getting better. But usually, you know, I wake up. This is every day. Every day other than Sundays, I wake up at 8 o'clock, walk the dog. You know, now with the baby
a little different.
It's a little different.
A little.
But I'll get into the studio at 10. Always have lunch at 1, and I leave the studio at 8:30 with the band. So that whole 10-hour day out, I'm there working with an artist. And then at 8:30, I have dinner with my wife, and we catch up. And then she goes to bed at 11 o'clock, and then I go downstairs at the studio in my house as well, and that's when I mix, I edit, I work on the record label. So and I rinse and repeat every day. Sure. You know, so that's every single day. And I keep that kind of strict regimen because everything in those time frames is so crazy. Yeah. I need some kind of strict, you know, anchors, to my day. But, you know, it's not a world, it's not a day for everyone. Sure. You know, I remember one of my assistants, one of my great assistants, his name's Phil. I don't think I was hard on him. You know what I mean? I'm definitely harder on my guys now. But a couple years ago, before The Last Dance, I'm sure we all have watched The Last Dance.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Sure.
You know, I told him, I said, you should watch The Last Dance. It's really cool. We're looking for stuff to watch. He was looking for stuff to watch during COVID, and he calls me. He's not a big sports guy either. He calls me after watching all 10 episodes, and he's like, "Will, I get it." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I get why you were so hard on me." It was like, because you wanted me to be great.
You want greatness.
And he said, it's not everyone. You know, it's not meant for everyone. You know what I mean, to do this. But if you want it, there are sacrifices. It was a great Kobe saying, there's no sacrifice without sacrifice. You know what I mean? Right. There's no sacrifice without sacrifice. You know, that's why I'm so grateful for my wife. You know, she went through the days where I was doing 10 to midnight. Sure. You know what I mean? On sessions.
Sleeping on couches in the studio. And
where she didn't see me. She didn't see me on birthdays. She didn't see me on certain, smaller holidays. But she got it. She knew that I was so absorbed in this world. I am trying to find more balance now that, after some success, that I can delegate more work to people that I trust, because I've built a great team around me. But at the end of the day, I love music, man, and I'm going to work my hardest.
I was going to ask you how you stop from burning out, but I guess staying on a regimen kind of helps that.
Helps.
But I'm sure before that schedule, that tight schedule, you're sleeping on couches and you're not sleeping maybe sometimes if you're working on these things.
I think what has hurt a lot of people doing, what I do, what people like in our field do, is they work a lot of stuff or a lot of gigs that they don't actually love. Yeah, we all love music. Yeah, it's still music.
Sure.
But I have to love what I'm doing.
Right.
If I was working with artists or talent that I just didn't like, it will be different. You know what I mean? Every day right now, I walk in and I'm inspired by the people that I work with. They are the people, the same people I look up to in music.
Yep.
I love it. If it wasn't that, I probably wouldn't be stoked to wake up and do it every day. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I feel like work with the people and work doing what you want to do, because it actually kind of inspires you to wake up and do it.
So you and I have known each other for years, and we sort of bonded over Philly sports. Yeah. You are, like I said, the biggest Philly sports, at least Phillies fan I think I have ever met. How far back does your fandom go when it comes to the Phillies?
Probably. All right. So I always grew up a sports fan.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I really connected with my brother, other than music, and definitely my dad. It was the only thing that I did with my dad was watch a game, and we're more basketball heads together.
Okay.
Because during the 90s, the Phillies might as well not exist.
Yeah, they were not very good.
You know what I mean?
It was terrible.
And I think it was, when we had a little, money to go to games, it really was the research. It was the Tommy and
so early 2000s,
yeah. 03, 04, everyone's getting really excited about the stadium, and you had all these kids coming up. You had J-Roll and Post Burl, but J-Roll and Chase is coming up. That's lining it up, and it was really that time. So high school where we get to go to these games to hang out, and where me and my brother, we kind of drifted apart during that time because he was going to college, and I was in high school. I was really figuring out my music thing. We really connected back on baseball. And we started going to games together. That was our common ground, and I fell in love with it. And it was a perfect time because that, other than the era right now, it's probably the golden era of Phillies baseball. That the I'll say 05. People call that first division, the start there. But I think 05. Once you felt the presence of Howard and Utley, that was when I really, really felt it. Especially being 16, 17 years old.
Perfect time in your life for that.
Perfect time. Yeah. Especially it was the perfect thing to kind of balance with music, because music's so crazy. My days are so crazy. At least, all right, every day at 7:00, I can count on turning on the Phillies. You know what I mean?
I like that.
And keeping up with it. But it never stopped. From then on, it's become the true vice in my life that has always kept my interest.
So people might know that you are a Phillies fan. Do they know the depth of that fandom? Because you happen to be I've never seen someone with as much cool memorabilia as you have.
Yeah.
It's like another job on its own, the way you collect stuff, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a big collector of things.
Yeah.
I don't have that many collections of things, but a lot of my friends would say, there's no 50 with me. It's either 0, I'm not into it, or it's 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love the Phillies, man. I love the Phillies. I lived through it all. Like I said, I wouldn't get starstruck.
Over much.
I remember sitting, Christina, my wife, next to Prince at a Lawrence show. Prince, one of my favorite artists of all time. R.I.P. He's
you weren't starstruck about Prince?
I was not starstruck about Prince. He's so.
I'll believe you,
but even, anyone, Jay-Z, Beyonce, whatever. It's just like, obviously they're goats, but are cool. We're in the studio.
Yeah.
It could be Michael Martinez walks through that door. I'll be like, yo.
The fifth reliever from the bullpen, and Will's like, what?
I'll start sweating like, dude. And I think I always make this joke is they can do something I can't do.
That's
you know
a good
what I mean?
point. That's a good point.
Might as well be a superhero to me, you know. But I got to befriend a few Phillies in the last couple of years, guys that kind of like our music. We
bond over that.
Yeah, bond over on Instagram. We start DMing each other, and we kind of share the same thing. You know, I remember Justin Freitas. He was having a good career here you know, during the tail end of like Roy's career. You know, so Roy was a big help for him. But we bond about it because I'm like, dude, it's so crazy. You're a pitcher for the Phillies, man. You know, he's like, bro. He's like, if I could have played guitar, if I was better at guitar, I'll be doing that. I'm like, that's crazy because I was way rather be at Citizens Bank Park, you know. But I just grew, you know. It was just such a fun thing for me to do. Man, where does collecting? I wouldn't know where
did it start? Like, what was the first thing? Do you remember the first thing you bought that you were like, this is it?
I do. I actually do. So it started with, it was a Christmas gift, and Christina in 2011 got me. I'm a big Chase fan. Chase is my guy.
Yep.
I love Chase. The reason why I really got into Phillies, you know, and his mentality, his head down and just played. That's why
you guys are the same.
Yeah, I'm not a loud. That's not true. I'm a very loud guy, but I'm not very outwardly. I'm not very, you know, I'm a pretty private guy.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just connected with him, and he's such a great player, you know. And Christina for Christmas in 2011. 2010 got me a game used Chase Utley bat, and tickets to go to Hall of Fame because I never went to Cooperstown.
Cooperstown.
And we went. I actually went Christmas Eve to Cooperstown, and I just saw this stuff. I'm like, this stuff's so cool.
Yeah, it's really
it would be so cool to have this stuff like this to share with our family one day or whatever.
Yeah. Did you bring anything with you?
Okay. There's a lot of jerseys, right?
Everyone's signed jerseys out there, some signed bats.
The team owns the jerseys. The team, owns the, I think they own the bats, but so there's a lot of it, and the team uses it nowadays. Back in the day, they would only have like 3 sets of jerseys.
Yeah.
Now there's endless
so many.
because they move it, they know it's a commodity.
Sure.
Bryce Harper jersey is going for $20,000.
Right.
But gloves though.
Harder to get.
Gloves, a personal thing, because there are players that uses 1 or 2 gloves their entire career.
Sure.
You know, and I know there's a lot of lore to this particular piece because Chase never let his gloves go. So he actually, I was at a charity function. This wasn't my piece. I didn't have this glove at this point,
right.
But someone else had it, and they wanted Chase to sign it. He wouldn't because he thought he thought it was stolen from his locker.
Oh.
Yeah. So he actually called someone over. I was just watching this happen. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy because he was like curious. He wasn't attacking the guy because his fault. It's like he went into the clubhouse, stole it, but they never get out. So I actually procured this fielding glove.
This is a Chase Utley
game used
glove, and it looks like it was used for a long time.
It was used for a long time and photo matched.
Boy, am I allowed to touch it?
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, photo matched to many games.
Wow.
You don't come across things like that.
You
too
don't.
often. I have a lot of jerseys, which there's certain pieces that I think are a little more of like my grails, but this is up there just because it's so rare.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's like it's smaller than I thought it would be, right?
Yeah, I guess
the fielding gloves are a little bit smaller, obviously.
I guess a second baseman, shortstop gloves aren't.
Do you still sleep with it under your mattress like
no,
you would when you were a kid?
No.
That's amazing.
I would though.
So that's your favorite piece. What other things you have that stand out?
My favorite piece that I couldn't bring today is I have Roy Halladay's last jersey he ever pitched in.
Wow.
Yeah, he ever pitched in 2013. It's awesome. I got it from a good friend that he's, I won't say who he is, but he's a professional wrestler who's also into this, and he knows that I'm into it, and we kind of connected on Instagram and stuff. And he was like, I had this Roy Halladay jersey back in 2013.
Yeah.
And he didn't announce his retirement yet.
Okay.
And he was like, I'll give it to you for this. I was like, oh, great. It's expensive, but solid deal, And then he announced his retirement and actually had a photo match to some games, had a company. They called me. They're like, dude,
this is the
real deal. Last game. against the Marlins, September 23rd against the Marlins in 2013. His last start he's ever made. And that jersey, meant so much because he is my favorite pitcher ever. And yeah, man, I wish he could have saw it. I wish I could have met him one day, and kind of showed it to him, you know what I mean, or given it to him.
Even that.
But
amazing.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, and when he passed, it crushed our household
for sure.
When he passed. But that
devastating.
piece, on a happier side, J. Roll's Game 5 World Series clinching jersey. Wow. And undershirt, his little the winter
that
shirt,
the turtleneck thing.
The turtleneck thing. So I have the turtleneck with the jersey. Those pieces are really good. I have.
Do you ever wear any of these to a game?
No, it's weird.
These are all just like.
Yeah, it's weird. It's too weird, bro.
Too weird. Can't do it. Yeah. Just in case I run into him, I'm not gonna.
That's the thing. I never talk about this because I don't want to look like a freak, but I guess everyone knows I'm a freak about this stuff. But it's cool because I back the team. They've given me so much joy in this whole city. Yeah. I have some Bryce pieces. I love Bryce.
You're a Bryce guy.
I'm a Bryce guy.
You are a Bryce guy.
I wanted Bryce here in 2019. When everyone wanted Manny, I wanted Bryce.
You did.
I don't want everyone back home.
I know for a fact that this is true. Some people wanted Manny Machado, not this guy.
A lot of people wanted Manny Machado.
Yeah.
I think we would still be in baseball purgatory.
We could be
if Manny was
the
here.
Game for this city.
Bryce is the guy. Pandering or not, his style play, his connection with the city. Yeah. He's a guy. I have a few pieces from him. I have a World Series jersey from him.
Very cool.
22 World Series jersey from him, which is awesome. But he's my guy, man. My goal. I'll start my campaign here in the show. My goal in life is to be boys with Bryce Harper.
There it is.
Yeah.
If you got to put it out into the world, and then you never know if it comes back to you.
Yeah, man. I feel like we get along, man.
This feels like It's Always Sunny with Chase Utley.
Yeah.
Like you have to write a note and send it to him, and you just never know what'll happen.
Yeah. Dude. I feel like we get along. Maybe we'll connect on some music stuff. Maybe we'll connect with some food stuff. But maybe he'll stop by our new bar we're opening up.
Called Doom, by the way.
Doom, yeah, Doom Bar opening. Later this summer, early fall. But I hope Bryce can stop by one day.
We'll give it a shot. Best hair on the Phillies.
Best hair on the Phillies.
All right,
Strom has good locks.
Strom's got
Strom
underrated.
Has good locks. It looks healthy.
It does look healthy. Because Marsh, you're like, it's long, but
he has a vibe. But I don't know if it's good. I don't know.
Bryce has got some good locks, though, man.
Actually, I'll say Bryce and Strom.
Okay,
Bryce and Strom. Yeah.
Favorite sneakers you own? Because you're a sneakerhead.
Favorite sneakers I own. Damn. My favorite sneakers of all time are white cement 4s. White cement 4s.
They are beautiful. Yeah. 3 coolest artists not enough people know about.
3 coolest all right.
You could even narrow it down to 1 if 3's too many.
All right. I'll say the thing is, in our music world, everyone knows them, but I think in the mainstream world, I mean, maybe some people are watching the show. Turnstile, they're the coolest band on the face of the earth. I think they are the best punk band, the coolest punk band to ever exist. So
there it is. Wildest place your job has taken you? Could be
Rwanda.
No way.
Yeah, with Lauren. Yeah.
That's wild. How long were you there for?
For 10 days. It was crazy. I have a story for you off the record. That's crazy. But yeah.
I can't wait to hear that. It's the behind the scenes stuff. You can only bring 1 meal with you on a deserted island. Is it the omakase from
do I have to eat this every day?
You got to eat it every day.
Like that's it.
The only thing.
Then it'll be pho. I can do pho
every single day.
Every single day, yeah.
Is there a particular place you like to go to?
Pho 75. When I was eating meat. When I was eating meat, pho 75 was
all right.
The place.
Last one. Favorite non-all-star Philly of all time.
Favorite non.
So
that's a
can't
good
be a star.
That's a good question.
It's a good way to end it.
Whoa, that's a good question. Man.
Non-all-star.
Non-all-star.
Who did you love that other people were like, he's okay?
They're oh man, I got to think about this. You have to edit this together because that's really good.
I can think of a guy that I always, but was he an all-star here? I always loved Placido Polanco.
He was all-star here.
Was he an all-star here?
All-star
okay,
here.
So then I guess that doesn't count.
2012.
He doesn't count.
Yeah.
Then you got to think back to those '90s teams because there was a lot of guys that I was like, I like a Pete Incaviglia type guy.
You know, I don't think it's celebrated how great the relievers were in that 08.
Good era. Point. Yeah,
they were.
And all at the same time,
bro. I have so much respect to the starting pitching staff, obviously, but people forget we went into the World Series. Cole Hamels GOAT, right?
Yep.
Brett Myers was our 2.
Yeah.
And 3, Jamie Moyer, Joe Blanton. That was our starting.
Was Kendrick rotation. In the rotation at that point?
He was in the pen at that point.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, so that was our starting 4 that
had to have an amazing bullpen.
World Series.
Yep.
You needed. I'll say that bridge to Lidge. I would say that J.C. Romero into Ryan Madsen. Those 2 guys, man.
Scott Air. There were some good names.
Yeah. Durbin.
Yep.
Air to them, but those 2, J.C. and Madsen.
That's a great answer.
That without them, bro,
doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It legit doesn't happen. So that'll be my non-all-star.
Will, this was a lot of fun. I'm so glad we got to do this. Like 40 minutes blew by just like that.
That was great.
You're the man.
Awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
You, man.
Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.